everyone, it's Silvia. Welcome back to my channel. Join me today for a quick unboxing of a couple of decks that have just arrived in my collection. Okay, so let's just start with a couple of rewards for Kickstarter campaigns. I believe one of them was launched last year and one of them this year. I find that, I don't know whether it's because the Kickstarter campaigns that I back tends to be all at the same time, but November is the month in which everything gets delivered. It's either from mid-October to mid-November. It's like every single Kickstarter award is being sent and I receive it. So last year, I even remember posting a video calling it Kickstarter Galore. Something like that, because it's just one after another and I love it. It's like a second Christmas. So let's dig in. I mean, we've got here the Unicorn's Journey Oracle, which is by Lisa Papez. I really love Lisa's deck, and the reason why I love them is because of the sense of community that she always manages to create in the most amazing ways. I always try and make sure that I'm part of the launch of the Kickstarter campaign whenever she is doing the launch live in her channel. She is very much beloved by everyone in the tarot community for a reason, because I really strongly believe that she is very supportive also when it comes to us and tarot tubers and our own channels. Lisa is extremely supportive. Whenever I had questions, I reached out to her. She literally always answered in the best ways, always very supportive, informative, knowledgeable, always recommending, telling me, look, you could do this or you could do that. I always look up to her because honestly, she's been incredibly helpful for not just me, I believe pretty much everyone here. And I also love it when she does these campaigns because it makes us feel like we are part of a big family. And so this is the Unicorn's Journey Oracle. If you have backed this campaign, you probably also received it. Or if you have backed other decks by Lisa, for example, the Sassy Dragon or the Unicorn's Journey Tarot, then you will know what I mean when I talk about the sense of community that we all feel, and this bond, these meaningful connections that we feel that are being created thanks to the fact that she is the one that brings us all together. So and this is also a really nice deck, by the way. She did send me a copy for review during the campaign, so I was stoked and also really happy about the possibility of presenting you the prototype deck, because obviously it was still at the prototype level. So this is the finished product. This is literally not a prototype. This is what you guys that backed the campaign currently receiving as your reward. And so you'll probably seen this deck before from other channels or on Instagram, TikTok, you name it. I just wanted to say I am so very happy that I received it as well. So I always like that there's so much attention to details when it comes to the products that have been shipped out. The shipping was super duper smooth. I received all the confirmation, the tracking and everything. I also have to say that Lisa manages to always keep the cost at a very affordable level, even for us poor blokes that live in Australia and have to face, you know, a cost of shipping for many decks, which is even more than the deck itself. So I was really happy. Lisa actually sent this to me as a token of appreciation of the fact that I contributed to her campaign, but with my review. So I don't know actually how much she spent on the shipping costs, but I did back the original Unicorn's Journey Tarot, and I was used to, you know, spending more for shipping than the deck, and she actually chose a service of shipping that was excellent and very affordable. So if you're looking into that, please know that you can trust her, at least, you know, because I have had extremely good experiences with her, and I feel like I need to point out because I've also had incredibly bad experiences with other people, other Kickstarter campaign, and so I will not point out which ones those were, but at least I can tell you that you can trust Lisa. So I like the attention to details, as I was saying. So obviously here you've got this certificate of authenticity, which is always, it's a nice touch because, well, we live in a world in which the certificate of authenticity is kind of a given. We need it, everyone now expects it because unfortunately, what happens, unfortunately. Loving the bags. I saw someone posting this and saying something about the hologram. I don't know if I can show you on camera, but basically when I move the card, you should be able to see it through the lens that here in the middle, this is a holographic gold, I would say. And it's really beautiful. I actually really appreciate this. It's really nice. And so there's the guidebook here. I don't think there's a lot of differences between the guidebook when I showed this to you and the final product, but in any case, here it is. Really beautiful. And what I always like is that there's these color edges to the pages, different colors that will tell you what let's say group of cards you are looking at. So obviously in here at the beginning, I've talked about this when I presented this deck as well. You do have the spirit cards, the fire, water, air, earth cards. So obviously depending on the color, you will see that this is the water suit and this is the air suit and so on and so forth. And these colors are actually the ones that are generally speaking also associated to more, let's say, general guidance on the alchemical elements. So these correspond to other decks as well, just as to not create confusion. So I do appreciate that as well. And then when it comes to the deck, may your magic always shine from the inside out. This is, I would say, a sentence that is so very Lisa. It's really expressing her commitment to the tarot community, but also to herself as a member of the tarot community. Always putting attention to the magic that we all have within ourselves and that we need to express with others. So let me just put this aside. I have the most discombobulated kind of desktop because I am actually leaving. I'm flying out. I fly to London in a couple of days, so there's chaos in my place. And I'm going to the College of Psychic Studies because together with Andrea Aste, Sasha Graham, Letizia Barbier and others, I'm going to present the magazine The Discombobulator officially to the tarot community. And it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's also going to be incredibly exciting and it makes me very nervous. But I'm going because I really want to put myself out there. I've been invited and I said yes. So let's have a look at this deck quickly. As I said, I did do a presentation of the deck during the Kickstarter campaign. Let me just zoom in slightly. And really beautiful. If you already have the Unicorn's Journey Tarot, I highly recommend. You cannot back the campaign anymore, obviously, because it's closed and it's being funded, but Lisa has an Etsy shop. And so you'll be able to find these decks available in her shop for you to buy one or two for a gift if you want. I really like the idea of dividing the cards in an oracle deck also by suits, and those suits being reflecting the suits on a tarot deck. Because it also gives you almost as if it were an additional way of pairing the two decks together, or if you are into creating your custom spreads, for example, you could divide the cards in all of the different alchemical groups and then you can pull one of each. So it gives you a lot of ways, different ways to use the cards, which is always very much appreciated. And I have to say, I talked about this when I was presenting the deck. I really love the keywords in this deck. You guys know me, keywords are kind of a big deal for me, because when a deck only shows me titles, especially when it's an animal related deck and it just says, there's an image of a turtle and it just says turtle. I mean, I kind of know that it's a turtle, right? I have seen turtles, and I probably cannot identify what kind of species of turtle that is, but I don't think that I need someone to tell me that it's a turtle. Now, I know that obviously there will be a guidebook in that case, and in the guidebook I will be able to find all of the associations with the concept of turtle. But why not giving me a couple of keywords on the card? I mean, it's, it just makes our life more complete, I would say, and probably also easier. Not because I want to be lazy, sometimes I do, but it's just because sometimes when I'm using a deck and I'm reading for a client or a member of mine, it is very embarrassing if I have to go to the guidebook simply because the card doesn't communicate anything to me other than the fact that I'm looking at a turtle and the author is telling me that that's indeed a turtle. I've said turtle a lot of times. Now, I have a confession to make. I have no idea what the next deck is. I know that it's a Kickstarter campaign simply because I received a notification kind of thing. I do not remember backing it. I did, because I went back to the history and I did back it. I do not remember why I backed it. I don't even know. I think it's an Oracle deck. I thought it was a tarot deck. It is what it is. I had forgotten about it. I don't mean to say that as a complaint, as in, oh, it was such a long time ago that I even forgot about it. No, it's not that. It's just I literally forgot about it. And I don't back that many campaigns every year, maybe a dozen, because I'm becoming very, I would say, picky when it comes to Kickstarter campaigns, mostly because of the shipping costs. And also because, and let me just not give out any kind of examples, but when you back a campaign and you're really contributing to the creator's effort and you talk about it in your channel and you're really enthusiastic about it, and then you find out that pretty much everyone else on the planet has received it, and even people that didn't back the campaign, they have the deck because it's been sold at retailers, I don't know, it makes me a little bit sad, if I may be completely honest. And I know what happened. I completely understand it's not the creator's fault at all. But you're like, and I'm here and my deck is not even near being shipped. Not just that it's not being shipped, it's not even near being shipped. And then when it will be shipped, it will take another 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm actually going to London, where I know that there is a distributor that is selling its deck, and I'm half thinking about I might just buy it over there and get it, 2 months before I actually receive it. And again, I'm not saying anything about the creator because I know that it's not her fault and I love her. She's a fantastic person. But these kind of things, honestly, you kind of know. You tend to notice them. There's no two ways around that. So I forgot about this deck. Let's discover what it is together. And as I said, it doesn't mean that it's just been a long time. It doesn't. It's just sometimes my memory is very selective. So it's Echoes of the Wood. And by the way, it comes with a very nice pouch, I would say. I love the font on here, Echoes of the Wood. And so I'm just going to set it aside for the moment because it also comes with a pin. I don't use pins, like a brooch pin kind of thing, because I don't use them. I mean, I'm not against them, I just don't use them. But this one is actually really nice. I don't know if you can tell. It's a heart and it's a lemniscate, so the symbol for infinity that goes through the heart. So it's very symbolic and I kind of like it, but I don't really use it. But in any case, I might gift it to someone that uses pins on their bag or something like that. Then let's have a look at the deck. So it's this one here. And now I seem to remember that this one was a deck that originally was even presented as a game, maybe? So it's by Una in Space. I really appreciate the art style. I have these flash of memories that come to me because the Kickstarter campaign, yeah, of course they show you the cards, but they don't necessarily, not many creators put up a video, for example, of a flip through. And so, if you're opening your app on the phone, especially if you're like me and I now need glasses, and not now, ever since 2 years ago I need glasses, but I really need them now. So from my phone, honestly, I can't tell much of the cards. So I'm very excited and curious to see, because obviously I did my research. I always do. When I back a campaign, I mean, choosing only a dozen campaign a year when there's a new one every week, you obviously have to be very picky, and that means being very choosy and checking out on a couple of things before I back a campaign. So I'm expecting this deck to be awesome. But at the same time, I don't want to raise my hopes high, because otherwise I will set myself up for failure. Echoes of the Wood Oracle deck, as I said, this one, oh, this is really nice embossed in here. The images, this owl, the symbol Una in space, and the wording. So it's a round magnetic box with, I must say, I like these colors. It would have been really awesome to receive it in the month of Spooktober, because it does feel that it's got those kind of vibes. Maybe not. And it does come with a guidebook here. So let me just have a look at the guidebook quickly. And let's see. Wow, very beautiful inside. Echoes of the Wood. So there's a bit of a wheel of the year here with what I believe might be all of the cards divided in categories. Let's say birth, growth, maturity, decay, and rebirth. So it's like the cycle of life, really interesting. Then introduction, how to work with the deck. Who is this deck for? Is for those who seek a way to understand their inner rhythm through the cycles of nature, answers during moments of silence and reflection, a connection to nature as a mirror of their own being. That's really interesting. How to work with the elements. Okay, so it's an elemental deck. That's always interesting. So earth, obviously, water, fire, air. How to work with the lunar phases. So we've got lunar phases as well with all of these symbols here. I don't know if you can see. And then it says how to work with the cards using moon phases. Well, this could be interesting because I work with different decks according to the moon phase, but I don't have in the same deck, I don't have cards that I work with in different phases of the moon. Does that make sense? So different decks, yes, but not same deck, different cards. So it could be interesting to have a look at what they are suggesting here. And then we're looking at the cards. So basically we got quite a fair bit of information here. One entire page, and then the other page we got the full page of the card itself. So we got void, and then there's a few keywords, upright and reversed. The image, it tells you what this is. A lone branch stripped of leaves and life symbolizes absence and emptiness. Of course, the keyword is void. The lunar phase is the new moon, and you can see it here from the symbol. The element is air. Then you've got upright meaning. So it's a bit of an expansion on the upright and reverse keywords that we have here, just after the title. And then expanded guidance. So this could be really interesting. There are no specific custom spreads, but I don't really mind. So I don't know, as I said, I had forgotten about this deck. I forgot that I backed it. So I forgot that I actually backed it. I remember because I probably talked about it in a video, but I forgot that I actually backed it. And so let's have a look, because Una in Space is also the creator of the Tarot Obscuro. And it might feel like I will want to pair up the tarot with this oracle, maybe, I don't know. But let's have a look at the deck first. Okay, so let me just zoom in to see the cards a little bit more. By the way, I have to say, so when it comes to the cardstock, this is a very soft linen. It's still a linen cardstock. I really don't think like I can show you that. You have to believe my word for it. It's a very soft linen. So how should I say this? It feels like a very sturdy kind of cardstock that you can use without worrying about damaging the deck, but at the same time, it does feel like it's a good product value. And obviously the coloring and let's say the color palette, which is very muted, it does remind me a lot of the Taro Obscuro that I've talked about before. And so I'm thinking that I probably backed it because I wanted to find a deck that I could pair up with that Taro deck. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm pretty happy about being able to do that. So when it comes to the keywords / titles, I would say that some of them are just titles, as you can see, wind, and some of them are titles, but they can also be seen as keywords. Like in this case, for me, temptation is also a keyword. So this one, to just be a title, would have had to say poppy flower. If this is a poppy flower, I think it is. It's probably not. It's a tulip, isn't it? How bad am I? My God, it's a tulip, isn't it? Okay, and I lived in the Netherlands. I lived in the Netherlands for 9 years, close to 9 years. I should know what a poppy looks like and what a tulip looks like. And this is a tulip. So the title would have been tulip, and temptation for me is more of a keyword. Definitely keyword with hunger. Had it been just wolf, then it would not have been communicating as much as it does with the word hunger, because now I can actually relate to what the main theme of this card is. And threshold for sure, storm, abyss. That's a very beautiful card, by the way. Really, really nice. Embers, thicket, harvest, silence, solitude. Wow, this is very powerful. I don't know if I relate to the concept of solitude to be associated with roots, but maybe. And that that would be interesting because it kind of challenges my perception of the card. And in that case, I would be very happy to go back to the guidebook and have a look and try and understand why there is this association. Rebirth, beautiful. Frost, key. So there's a 40 card. It feels like there's one attached to the last one, but it's not. 40 cards, that's fine. Colony, I would have preferred 44. We always do. We always say that, don't we? It's kind of a stack disc, right? Yeah, always 44 cards. Lurking with a fox. That's interesting. Transformation and illusion. Hearth. And dream and echo. Okay, very interesting. I will have to work a little bit with this deck, and I will also like to try and pair it up with the Taro Oscuro, as I said earlier, because I do find that sometimes finding the perfect pair actually helps me bond more with the deck. And you do you, of course, but really nice. I like it. So the next deck is a totally Robin made me do it. Robin from Robin's Reflections. She is always showing some amazing decks on her channel. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, damn, now I need to buy it because it's just so cute. It's the Cosplay cats. I mean, how freaking awesome is this idea? This is by Insight Edition, but I was looking at Robin's video about this deck, and I think it's fully illustrated. And I had to stop halfway because I was like, I actually wanted to be a surprise when I get it. So I knew after the first dozen cards that I was going to buy this deck. And so I just wanted myself to experience the emotions of unboxing this deck and looking at the cards for the first time. So this is available already in Australia. I did buy from an Australian retailer, and it's just a very recent deck. But yeah, as I said, available already. So Cosplay cats. Let's have a look. Tarot deck and guidebook. And as always, a bit difficult to remove the upper part, but then it comes out. And it does come with a book. I'm expecting the minors to be renamed because that's something that Insight Edition does a lot. and it's not always easy to understand the renaming, so sometimes I have to go through the guidebook and just try and see whether I can find some information around that, not to look like an idiot when I'm trying to understand if scoops means cups or pentacles. So talking about the Stranger Things. So this one, there's always the same layout when it comes to the Insight Editions guidebooks, which is, it's just enough. It means it does give us what we need. Okay, so the Minor Arcana, Sutta 1, Sources, Claws, and Toe Beans. Toe Beans, obviously Pentacles. Wands is wands, sources is cups, it's rather easy, claws is swords. It's not difficult. Okay, in this case it's actually quite straightforward. It's not always the case, but I always want to make sure. And it does say that so these are basically cats that are cosplaying, so they are dressed in costumes from, I believe, characters from pop culture. That could be mostly, I think, movies, but there could be something else as well. And but I think it's mostly movies, so that would be really interesting. For example, this one is Harry Potter, so it just makes me laugh because I love how the English language is so easy to use in a whimsical way, and whenever there's cats involved, there's so many creative people coming out with the best ideas. So Harry Potter, obviously Harry Potter, so the paw of the cat. That I didn't need to explain it. I know I didn't need to explain it, but it's so cute. So let's just, I don't want to spoil my first impression, so let's just have a look at the cards right away, and then we'll see. I just really hope that the minors are not peepish, but I don't think they are. So Harry Potter, I like it that it's also on the card, so we don't necessarily have to go back to the guidebook to see. Gandalf the Grump, and Perby instead of Barbie. Daenerys Targaryen. Sorry, I feel like this is gonna become like a common thing, that I'm going to just read the name and then I'm going to burst out laughing. Darth Vader, Doc Brown, Claudine, and Penelope Bridgerton. Wow. Simon Dean, Whisker, Chester, and Baby. Oh my god! See, it's not just movies, it's also supernatural. I love this. Simon Dean, Whisker, Chester, and Baby. Baby is the car, obviously. How freaking cool is this? It's adorable. Captain Kirk Kitty. So I wonder if I will always have to correct myself, because it's not for a non-native speaker. This kind of use of the language is actually kind of difficult, and it might take me a couple of takes in order to understand what I'm actually reading. And Beetlemeuse, Batman, the Clouded Father, oh my god, Ed Whisker Cullen, Lokiti, oh this is so cute, Cat's Eye of Cloron, oh, of course, yes, and the Eye of Sauron, Fluffy Summers, Louis the Pointeur du Laser, the Nightcat Comet, Superman, Chloe and Aziraphale, of course, from Good Omens, so cool. Scratch Pilgrim and Ramiona Flowers, Obi Yarn, Katnobi, Hairball Queen, oh my god, Ferris Clump, are you kidding me? Ferris Mule. But it's also, look at how sassy this page of wands is, and yes, it's very Beulah, absolutely, 1000%. Dr. Boop, Princess Tiana. Sorry, why does it go? Sorry, am I missing something? No, Ace of Wands, 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands, Jurassic Bark, and the last Verbenda, Leo. Oh, Neo. goodness. Frankenfeline, Ronald Fleasley, Marty McFeline, Kevin McCallico, Hermione Granger, Izuku Miyodoria, Whisker Woman, Kitty Can, Floofy McLean, Eliza Esposito, Jim Halpert and Pam Beansley, Mama Meow, Mama Meow, Mama Meow, seriously. Look how cool it is. It is so, I'm sorry, but it's, oh my God, it's unbelievable. Whomever came up with these names, kudos, really cool, really cool. Sherlock Holmes, of course, Jim Pouncer, Rose D. Whisker and Jack Clausen, of course, Cathy Heron, E.P. the Extraterrestrial. Oh my goodness, look how cute it is. Kitty Bradshaw, okay, yep, Sex and the City. The Golden Girls, the Golden Crows, the Meandalorian and Growlghoul. Oranishi, wow, even Oranishi is Lucy Liu as character in Kill Bill 1. Awesome movie, love it. I actually really like Oranishi and Crazy 88. Sarah Connor, Terminator. Miles Morales. I feel like I should know this, but I don't. The Karate Kitten. Tortoise versus Clovers. Joe Meowler. It will be, you know, sometimes I don't recognize them and I'll go back to the guidebook and I'll go, that's what it is. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shells. Oh my God, this, you know, I'm already thinking about the Tarot Academy Awards for next February, and this deck is gonna win something. It's gonna win something, this deck, I'll tell you. Rocky Balboa, of course, Rick Felines, the Terminator, I don't even know if I can read this, Terminator, that oh my God, that is so cool. Kitiana Jones, Katniss Everbeans, Jon Snowball, you know nothing, Jon Snowball. Miota Ufura, Al Whiskers, Sydney Adamio, Kitty's Greeks, 9 Lives to 5, Tuna Bean and Lou Fleece Belcher, Whisker White and Jesse Pink Norris, Imperator Furiosa, that's from Mad Max, isn't it? I haven't watched that movie. Robin Floof, the X-Felines, no! Oh my God, the X-Felines with Mulder and Scully. Awesome. Fairy Dancing, Jeffrey the Dude Lemioski. Oh my God. Sorry, it's just so cool. And Violet Clawley. Oh my God, thank you, Robin. It's so cool. Really, seriously, this deck is super cool. By the way, if you're in Australia, it's only $30 Australian, so it's also very affordable. I'm gonna have so much fun with this deck. It's just that I don't know how to read, well, I use it in readings, because obviously not for my clients, because most of the time I get really serious kind of questions and I can't really, because I can actually see myself, you know, putting the cards and just going like that, because I can't stop laughing. And so not for clients, not for members, unless I tell them. But it's a niche deck. It's a fandom kind of deck. I love that it's Neo. There's no John Wick though. What could a good name have been for John Wick, referring to feline stuff? I don't know, because I don't have this kind of wit when it comes to language. If it were in Italian, I would know. but it could be really cool. In any case, oh my god, love it. And last but not least, we've got a deck that it's not new, it's new to me, but I did not even consider it when I saw a couple of examples. Then I follow an account on Instagram, the Cosmic Crow Tarot, and they showed a couple of, not more than a couple of cards, and I had the possibility to really see them, and I was like, this is the kind of deck that I like. You know, the kind of modern deck that makes you think, that challenges your view of tarot with a modern interpretation. And I will not be agreeing with 100% of the cards, but it will the ones that I will agree with will definitely give me an additional layer of interpretation. And so I will remember the examples brought by this deck. So it is the Find Your Magic Tarot. This has been published by US Games. It is not your typical US Games box. You guys know this? I mean, it's one of those drawer kind of box. I've never seen US Games publishing a deck this way. I don't know. But in any case, it's by Italian creators, so Giulia Manzi and Sara Rotlich. It looks, to me, this, honestly, I thought it was a Vivida deck because it looks like one of those typical Vivida releases, products. But no, it says US Games. Anyway, without much further ado, it doesn't really matter because I really wanted to check it out, and I'm always happy to see some decks by Italian creators to be distributed worldwide, especially when it's a big distributor, big publisher like US Games. Because it's true that Lo Scarabeo definitely gives priority to a lot of Italian creators, and I'm absolutely fine with that. But we don't have a lot of Italian creators in other publishers like Rockpool, for example. I can't think of any Italian creator that's been published by Rockpool. Maybe I will print a book, maybe I will publish a book with Rockpool and I'll be the first Italian creator that they will publish. Just kidding. Actually, no, I'm not kidding. I'm actually thinking about it. I have so much stuff that I'm putting out there, especially for my members, and that I'm thinking there's something that I can actually publish with Rockpool because they're always looking for someone, especially when it comes to books. Anyway, so I'm very happy to see this. As I said, typical Vivida kind of setup, but it is US Games. So we've got the guidebook here, as you can see. So we've got, these are all the majors, and then we go into the minors. The minors you have a little bit less. Actually, you don't really have less. It's just that you only have a thumbprint of the card rather than having a full page. But then when it comes to the writing, you only have 2-3 paragraphs. So I would say it's probably the same amount of writing. So, and then you have a box in a box, which is not my favorite. Honestly, I'm not like super happy when I see this. I believe that puts unnecessarily the price up. And even though it was very affordable, I would prefer to have maybe a slightly larger tuck box like this with the book inside, or maybe just the wraparound. You know, the wraparound magnetic boxes are probably the best because they're secure, they're safe, and you can include the book, the guidebook. But in any case, it's none of my business. I mean, I appreciate it, and it's here, and so let's have a look at it. And it was very affordable, so I'm not complaining. So semi-gloss, I would say, on the glossier side of semi-gloss kind of cardstock, but very sturdy. This is one of the decks that you can use all the time, and also the fact that it's semi-gloss means that you can fan it out like a charm. These are the backs, by the way. But the reason why I'm very excited about this deck is because it's one of those decks that has got a really modern take on tarot. And yes, it does feel like it's more focusing on magical themes, which is fine because it is literally called Find Your Magic. But from the examples that I've seen, for example, the High Priestess, I really like that it's a doctor or a nurse in a hospital, you know, and the resources that this High Priestess has got, you know, the medical charts and the coffee to stay awake and the stethoscopes. And so I really like this interpretation. And Empress and the Emperor with the kitty cat. And okay, can I just say something? This is one of those sticky rolls that if you have a cat, you know what this is. So when you have a cat, especially when it's a white cat, but pretty much any other kind of fur, you will be covered in cat fur. There's no two ways around that. You have to live with that. You have to live with the idea that probably 50% of the time there will be cat fur on your food, on your drinks, on your clothes, on your sofa, on your bed, and so on and so forth. And you'll be okay with it because it's your cat. So in my case, I do have these. I buy them by the bulk. And, you know, I completely understand what this person is doing. So they're literally just rolling the sticky roll on their suit because it will be full of cat hair. So I already love this deck. The Hierophant, really beautiful Lovers card. Chariot and the Strength card with someone being sick. And a fairy giving them the medication. And there is a little mouse here taking the temperature. The Hermit with someone probably spending quite some time in their cars with a map. And you see here the... well, the fast food, I guess. So the Wheel of Fortune, really interesting. See, this intrigues me already because I can see what they mean with the Wheel of Fortune and a person on a motorbike, but I also have this idea because this person is plucking flowers. I don't know if you can tell. So there are flowers here. This looks like a highway, I guess. And this person is on a motorbike, but they just pick these flowers out. So yeah, I am already intrigued by the meaning of it. You know, let me just quickly look at the guidebook and what the guidebook is saying. You never know. This is the Wheel of Fortune, so it's a major arcana. The beginning and end of cycles continue in rapid succession. Everything is ready to turn on a dime, chaotically and unpredictably. Events happen, seasons pass, and an unavoidable destiny arrives. Those who ride the wheel are able centaurs, capable of quickly walking the paths of faith and taking unknown turns, fearless and aware of the transience of life. They are constantly on the move and know that the end of the road is not really the end, merely a new beginning. Karma has been set in motion and the energies are working in a perpetual movement that leads to a fortuitous route. It doesn't necessarily talk about the elements on the actual card though, which kind of disappoints me a little bit because I would have loved for there to have been even just one sentence or two explaining that this, I understand that is referring to the those who ride the wheel are able centaurs, capable of quickly walking the paths of faith and taking unknown turns. I get it. Centaur is a name for bike rider and I'm completely 100% with it. I understand the meaning of the card and I understand the drawing. But the plucking of the flower, you know, it would have been nice to say maybe as some kind of a advice, sometimes stop and smell the roses or something like that. I don't know, but it's just me. I mean, this is just what I'm thinking now looking at the card. And you know what? One of my favorite tarot decks this year, the Unveil Tarot, when it comes to the guidebook, it also didn't give you that much information. Justice, okay. The Hanged One or Hangman. Interesting. Death. It would be really cool to just sit down and look at the devil. So sitting down and working with this deck. The Star card is a person sitting on a hospital bed and opening up the window and looking outside and they see the stars. Actually, the stars are coming inside. And beautiful moon, beautiful, really beautiful. I love this diverse ability kind of representation here with the person with the prosthetic leg on the sun card, but they're still riding a broom. And Judgment. Wow, that's such an amazing, really beautiful world card, really gorgeous. And then we're starting with the Ace of Swords. Interesting, let's have a look. Two of Swords. Wow, I mean, I will have to spend time with this deck. I definitely will have to. Okay, Four of Swords and Five of Swords. They look very similar. I wonder whether it's the same person in different moments in their lives. Possibly. Maybe we're looking at sequences. You know, sometimes there are tarot decks that have like one scene, but built using all of the minors on a suit. But no, it doesn't necessarily look like it is the case. These are different characters, of course, and the Nine of Swords with the Ouija board on a tablet, and you know, all of these hands pointing. Wow, this is so interesting and so powerful. And the Ten of Swords with broken mirrors. Page of Swords, Knight. And the Queen of Swords, which is my significator. And she's already, it looks like she's gotten a vaccine done, I'm guessing. I see she's conjuring butterflies. Interesting, really interesting. Such an interesting deck. I am really fascinated and intrigued. I'm not going to show you all of the cards. I feel like I don't immediately get the meaning and the association between the images that I'm seeing here and the card themselves as associated, as representing the tarot card. I feel like I'm actually going to spend quite some time with this deck because it will speak to me. I know that it will, and I know that I will be very happy to hear it talk to me and understand the message behind the cards. It looks like this could be an amazing deck. It could be an amazing deck if oh, look at the kittens. Oh. So if I, put in the effort and study the deck and work with it, etc., like I've done for other decks. Oh my goodness, look at the kitty cat with the Queen of Wands. It feels like it's one of those decks that can give me a lot. And so I'm really willing to spend my time with it. And that was it for today. So let me know what decks you've got recently in your collection. I'm always looking for new decks to check out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye!